Hello everybody, what's up? I'm back with another tutorial series, and this series will be about SignalR. So what I have here is the Battleships project that I've created a while back. It's another series, and we created a TCP server which helps store the user data, which or the multiplayer the players that are logged on this server, and also helps communication between all the clients. So yeah, this part we're gonna replace with SignalR. So if you don't know about the Battleships series, go check it out. Check it out on my YouTube channel. And if you don't want to, then also that's fine because we're going to implement SignalR from scratch. So just follow this along, and then you also can just implement SignalR for any project that you have going right now. Alright, so without further ado, let's start. What we're going to do today is we're going to do the basic setup, and we're going to replace, yeah, the start off that we have here. So I just started the application, and then yeah, obviously we logged onto the server, and then we're gonna enter a username. So and then we will send that name to the server, and the server sends us back a list of logged on users, and then we'll display that here. So yeah, this is what we'll do today. So let's get started. All right. First, we'll add a new project. This project is going to be an ASP .NET Core, and I'll select the empty one, empty ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET Core project. Let's call this SignalR server, and then I'll press next. And yeah, framework is going to be .NET 6, configure for HTTPS, and the others can be unchecked. So click create, and then here we go. We have our SignalR project. Um, let's start by just adding SignalR, and you do this by going here, builder services dot add SignalR. Alright, and then we'll also add something which is, I don't think it's a requirement, but what we're going to do here is we're going to tell SignalR how to send the data between um, between the clients and to the SignalR server. We're going to tell it to send the bytes and compress them bytes, so it's a little bit smaller sizes. Alright, so you do this by going add response compression, and then say options, ops.mime types. It's gonna be response compression defaults, mime types, and then here we're gonna concat new and then application /octet stream. Yeah, like I said, this is not a requirement, but it doesn't hurt. Alright, so we set up SignalR, and now we want to remove this endpoint, and then we'll say map hub, and then we'll have to create our hub class to put into the brackets right here. And then we'll say the URL is battleships, and then we'll remove the rest. So now let's add a folder. We don't really have to add a folder. It's just going to be two classes in here. So it's going to be the battleship. Too many T's. Battleship hub. Press enter. We'll have to inherit from hub, and alright, then we'll have to define the methods that we will invoke to the receiving clients, and that we can also receive as the server. So, but let's fill this in here first. Battleships hub. Alright, so we have the server set up. Let's go to the client, and before we start here, we have to add a NuGet package, which let's update the toolkit. Alright. Yeah, now we have to find the SignalR. I think it's clients. Yeah, SignalR client right here. Microsoft ASP NET Core SignalR client. Install that. Press accept. Yes, installed. Great. Okay. Now we will add a new folder here. New folder. We'll call it SignalR. Actually, SignalR server. And then in here, we'll create a class. SignalR. And let's remove that namespace. SignalR. No, actually, let's call it SignalR server. And this is going to be a static class. No, it's not going to be a static. Never mind. Alright, so SignalR server. And then we'll go to the application view model. Oh, this constructor is empty. Let's remove that. Yeah, and then we'll add SignalR server, SignalR. Okay, now we have the SignalR server and the application view model. And then we will go to, I think we can close this. Yeah, let's go to the main menu. That's where we will find all the the things that we saw. When I started the client, this is the first things that the TCP server handled. So connecting to the server and then obviously updating here our UI through the different events that take place. Let's check the main window. Is there anything here in the constructor? No. Okay, let's remove that. Alright, so let's just start off by copying this. And here we will just say SignalR. And then let's just generate those actions, because we'll probably use these also. Maybe we'll have to change them, but we're probably going to use these also. So control dot, it's a little bit slow here, but just go through. Alright, one more. Alright, connect the server. Okay, let's start off with connecting to the server. Alright, let's create a region here. So region, that's going to be actions. I can shut this down. Alright. Some methods. Okay. Alright, connect to server. What do we need? We need to actually create another region here up top. Say fields. And then here we will need private a hub connection. So hub connection. Which we can now build, and we'll do that by saying hub connection is going to be equal to new hub connection. New hub connection builder, and then we'll say with URL. I'm going to leave that empty for now. I'll show you in a second where to get that from. And then we'll say with automatic reconnect. So if it should happen that we disconnect, when we change our Wi-Fi or whatever reason, then it will automatically try to reconnect a certain number of times, of course, not forever. Alright, and then we'll say build. And then all the way at the bottom, we shall say await hub connection dot start async. And then we'll start it here. Okay, and then in between building the hub connection and starting it, we will have to define our receiving messages. So when the Signal server invokes a method, a message to all the clients or a single client, then we'll have to define that here. What that looks like. Alright. Hub connection. Yeah, let's get that URL filled in. To find that URL, we have to go down to our Signal server. We go to properties, launch settings.json, and then we have here the HTTPS version and the non-S. I'm going to take the S version, so copy that, paste that into here, and then also / battleships, because that's what we defined for our hub that we created, the battleships hub, which we did in the program.cs right here. Alright, so we got that set up. Now let's we also, I know we're gonna need this, but so let's do that right now. Region, so properties, and that's gonna be public string connection ID, and that's gonna return hub connection ID. Actually, let's do that like this, double question mark. No. Let's just do it like this. Alright, so return the connection ID. And alright, it's time to do the first thing. So we're doing connect to server. Okay, we're connecting and we're starting the connection. That's good. Now we need to so define hub connections. Define hub receive methods. Okay. Alright, so the first thing that we did was we created we get a new user and we update our user list. So let's do these two right here. And we invoke that, or we start off the chain by coming down here and saying create new user. So let's comment this right here. And matter of fact, let's shut down the TCP server all the way. Go here, server. Yeah, we won't even let it run. So comment this part out. And that should do it. Ah yeah, and up top of course. Here, connect to server. Now, we want to create a new user. And we do that by saying inject.application.SignalR send new user, and then we will send user, new user, here we will set the username, and we'll pass in the user. And this is going to be an async method, so async, because this is going to be an async task method, and let's generate that. Let's cut that out. All right. Here we're gonna say if our hub connection is not equal to null, let's send a message to the SignalR server. And then we'll say await hub connection dot send async, and then we have to, this is the only thing I really don't like, that you have to use these hard-coded strings. I have to think of something to make this a little bit better to maintain, but yeah. We haven't created the hub method yet, so there's nothing to match it to, but we have to make these method names matching. So I'm going to say send new user, that's what I'll call this method, and then we'll pass in the user, just like that. And then on the hub side, we'll also create that method right here, which is going to be a public async task send new user, and which will take in a user to reference that core project. Yeah, add a reference Battleship Server Core. And now we can say await clients dot all send async receive new user, and then we'll pass in that user, and now all the clients will receive this new user that just was created. So now to receive that message on the client side, once again, we have to define that here in our on received methods, or events, whatever you want to say. Hub connection dot on, and then what are we receiving here? It's going to be the user, and then we'll say receive new user. And once again, you have to be careful here not to misspell anything. User, and then we shall new user action. Make sure it's not null. If it's not null, we'll invoke it and then we'll pass in the user. Okay. We'll have to change this action right here. Let's close this down. Close this down. It's not going to be a string anymore. It's going to be a user. And that's fine. Before we send the new user, I'm gonna store the connection. Don't have that yet, so let's add that. I'm gonna store the connection ID, which so we can identify certain users, so we can now send messages just to one user. That's what this will do for us. No, so this is going to be just the connection ID, and then we'll have to create that property. Great. Let's remove that ID up there. This is probably going to cause some errors, but yeah, we'll fix those in a second. Okay, and now also, yeah, now we're sending that new user to all the clients, but we also need to send the entire list of already logged on clients to the new user that just was just created. So we do that by saying client. I don't know if it's user or client. We'll just try. We'll try user first, and then send async receive user list, and then we'll pass in the list, but we don't have a list yet, so right, let's create a new class. We'll say, we'll call this the server class, and this one is going to be static, and here we will have a public list of users, so we'll call this users, get set new. I'll just have to add that using statement. This has to be static, of course. Alright. Let's add a public static method which says add user, and then if found, so we'll say users dot first or default, and then we'll look for find a user that has the same connection ID, then we already have that user. And if we can't find one, so if found is null, then we'll add that user. This just needs to be static void. So if found equals null, then we'll want to add this new user. Just like that. Okay, so here we'll say server.add user, and here we'll just return users. And now we have to implement this invoked method on the client side again. So let's remove that. Here. So I'm going to do hub connection dot on. Yeah, this is going to be the list user, and then we'll say receive user list, and then I think it was update user list action. Here we go. Nope. Question mark invoke list. And yeah, this was a string, I'm guessing, again. So let's create a list. Okay. Alright, we're almost done. And I think we're making pretty good time here. Yeah, 30 minutes. Alright. And now we're going to get some errors because this... Oh, we have no errors. That can't be right. So let's make a new region here. SignalR actions. And then we'll just copy out the things that we need. So right now, yeah, new connection. Let's go jump into this. New connection. It's actually called new user. Let's copy this. Paste that into here. Let's say new user. What we are receiving is a new user, so new user. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to change the logic a little bit, not too much. And here we're not gonna search by name. We're gonna search by the connection ID. And I don't think we have this property here in the view model, so let's create that connection ID. Control dot. Let's generate that property. See if it did that correctly. Yeah, almost. Yeah, this won't have to be an observable, it's just, yeah, we're just using it as a normal property. So get set. And again here, I don't know why I always added an empty constructor. I'm just gonna remove that. Alright, so dun dun dun. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, this I'll change later, but we just want to see if it works now. So let's set a breakpoint here. And then we have one more method, which we have to implement. Ah yeah, this is going to be new user. Let's go copy this one. Paste it down here. Update user list, that's what we'll call it. And here we're actually receiving the list already, so we don't have to deserialize anything. So I'm just going to call it list. And everything else, well, here we can just go via the connection ID, which we'll also have to add here in the new user list. Connection ID new user dot connection ID. Alright, and we're ready to do our first test run. Ooh, it's probably not gonna work. Did we add that URL? I think we did. No. Yeah, we added the we also have to add, we have to set up our, configure our project startup. So right now I only have the Battleship server is supposed to start. SignalR is not starting right now, so we have to definitely start this. Battleship server core doesn't have to start because that's our class library. And that's it. Alright, let's give this a try. Fingers crossed. Yeah, we're hitting the 40-minute mark here, so this would be a good time to, of course, it's not going to work. There's probably some connection ID issues still. Yeah. Hopefully we can get that sorted out real quick. Yeah, so, connection ID. Let's go toString. I should sort that out. Alright. It's not called actions, just user list. Update user list. Okay, well that was easy. Okay. What do we have here? Alright. This is our ASP .NET Core SignalR server. Yeah, there's nothing to see there. It's just because we didn't define a view for this hub, the SignalR server, so it's just a URL. And here we go. We have the client. Okay. Let's see. Let's add a new user. Okay. So we hit the breakpoint in our hub. So it's already received that new user, which should have a connection ID and our name. That's good. And then let's let it run. So we've added it to the list, that's correct. And now we will just send out those, invoke those methods, and we've already received those because we're already landed in our new user action method, which has the new user Dennis 200 and the connection ID. So that's correct. I'm just gonna let it run. And ooh, but it didn't hit this list, update users list. And that's probably because it's not user. So let's, damn it, client. Let's try client. Can I do this with hot reload, please? Alright, let's try it one more time. It's already logged on. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna have to restart. Alright, so I restarted it. Let's test it again. So somebody done us 300. So yeah, the new user hits again. And now our update user list, which has just one in there because right now. And it shouldn't add it again because we will find it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now we have Dennis 300 in the users list and we're ready to challenge a player, but there's no other players, so we can't challenge anyone. And we've already hit the 42-minute mark, so this is a good place to cut off this video, and we'll continue next time. So yeah, we set up our SignalR server, which is working, obviously, and yeah, we're sending messages to the server, and we're also receiving messages. And we're not just receiving messages to all clients, we can also pick a single client and send that client a message, which we've done right here. So yeah, so thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.